This first review lesson covers nouns and pronouns. From Unit 1, Lesson 1 on nouns and articles. Spanish nouns are either masculine or feminine, and they have singular and plural forms. Articles accompany nouns and correspond to its gender and number. We have the definite articles el, los, la, las, lo, and the indefinite articles un, unos, una, unas. Generally, nouns that end in o are masculine and those that end in a are feminine, but there are plenty of exceptions. For a feminine noun we have la bufanda, las bufandas, una bufanda, unas bufandas. For a masculine noun we have el libro, los libros, un libro, unos libros. Notice that the article changes depending on the gender and number of the noun. The neutral article lo is only used in a singular form, and it is used for nouns that are derived from adjectives and ordinal numbers. No como lo agrio. Agrio is an adjective, but in this case it is being used as a noun. Therefore we use the article lo. Lo importante es que tú haces tu tarea. Importante is an adjective, but in this case it is being used as a noun. Therefore we use the article lo. For ordinal numbers, estudian lo primero, lo segundo, y lo tercero. So these are ordinal numbers, but they are being used as nouns in this example. So therefore we use the article lo. However, you will not use the article lo if these words are not being used as nouns. For example, la comida agria, el hombre importante, la Segunda Guerra Mundial. Agria, importante, and segunda are being used as adjectives, so we do not use the article lo. This is a list of general masculine noun endings. Keep in mind that these are not absolute rules. There are plenty of exceptions, as these are only general guidelines. And these are some common feminine noun endings. Again, keep in mind that these are not absolute rules. They are only general guidelines, and there are plenty of exceptions. And here are some exceptions to those general guidelines. Some masculine nouns which appear to take feminine endings are el día, el cometa, el planeta, el laúd, el tenis, el lápiz. And some feminine nouns which appear to take masculine endings are la mano, la leche, la piel, la cama. So cama does end in a, but some nouns such as el programa and el problema end in ma and are masculine nouns. So you could see la cama as an exception or a non-exception. And la imagen. There are some feminine nouns that begin with an a sound. They use the masculine articles in the singular form, but the feminine articles in the plural form. This is to prevent a clash between double a sounds between the article and noun. For agua, water, we have el agua, singular, las aguas, plural. For alma, soul, we have el alma, singular, las almas, plural. For hada, fairy, we have un hada, singular, unas hadas, plural. Now even in the singular form, when these feminine nouns use masculine articles, they will still be considered feminine regardless of the article. El agua roja, un hada blanca. Now although the articles are masculine, the nouns are still considered feminine, so the adjectives are also feminine because they are in agreement with those feminine nouns, and not the masculine articles. The prepositions de and a are prevented from clashing with the article el. They are usually combined into one word with el, del and al. We do not say tenemos que ir a el coche, we say tenemos que ir al coche. We do not say estoy hablando de el libro, we say Estoy hablando del libro. The plural form of most Spanish nouns simply adds an s or es to the end of the singular form. Nouns ending in a vowel usually add an s. El bigote, los bigotes, the mustaches. La corbata, las corbatas, the ties. Those that end in a stressed I or U will add an es. El iraní, los iraníes, the Iranians or people from Iran. El champú, los champúes, the shampoos. Most nouns that end in a consonant add an es, but there are exceptions for certain consonants which we will look at shortly. El camión, los camiones, the trucks. El chacal, los chacales, the jackals. Nouns that end in a z change the z to a c before adding an es. La nariz, las narices, the noses. La actriz, las actrices, the actresses. A few nouns may either add an s or es in the plural form. El club, los clubs, los clubes, the clubs. El jabalí, los jabalís, los jabalíes, the boars. Nouns that end in an s or x do not add anything in the plural form if the final syllable is unstressed. El virus, los virus, the viruses. El tórax, los tórax, the thoraxes. If the final syllable is stressed, however, an es is added in the plural form. El obús, los obuses. This is a military weapon called a howitzer. El autobús, los autobuses, the buses. And some nouns only have a singular form and no plural form. El dinero, money. El sed, thirst. Unit 1, Lesson 2a on subject pronouns. The singular subject pronouns are yo, tú, él, ella, usted. The plural pronouns are nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, ellos, ellas, ustedes. And you should also be aware of which subject pronouns are first, second, and third person. The plural masculine pronouns are used if referring to a group that includes both males and females. The plural feminine pronouns are only used if referring to a group that consists entirely of females. Vosotros and its derivatives are not as commonly used outside of Spain. Ustedes is the most common plural form of you. So subject pronouns determine the conjugations of verbs, in addition to other factors such as tense and mood. A few examples. Yo como naranjas. Tú bebes agua. Él habla español. Nosotros vivimos en España. Ellas caminan al parque. All of these sentences are in the present tense, and with a change in subject, we also have a change in the verb ending or conjugation. Unit 1, Lesson 2b on prepositional pronouns. The singular prepositional pronouns are mi, ti, él, ella, usted. The plural pronouns are nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, ellos, ellas, ustedes. With the exception of mi and ti, the prepositional pronouns are identical to the subject pronouns. And like the name suggests, they usually follow prepositions. El regalo es para ti. Ellos hablan de nosotros. Yo camino con ellos. In the third person, the pronoun si will be used if the subject and object are the same person. Él solo trabaja para sí. So in this case, the subject and object are the same person. The pronouns are being used reflexively. Therefore, the prepositional pronoun si is used. When followed by mi, ti, or si, the preposition con will turn into conmigo, contigo, or consigo, respectively. Él quiere trabajar conmigo. Yo quiero trabajar contigo. Él no está contento consigo. With these phrases, you will not use the pronouns mi or ti. Instead, you will use the subject pronouns yo and tú. No hay ningún problema entre tú y yo. Todos irán a la fiesta, incluso tú. Unit 1, Lesson 2C on direct object, indirect object, and reflexive pronouns. The direct object pronouns are me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, las. The indirect object pronouns are me, te, le, nos, os, les. With the exception of the third person singular and plural forms, the direct and indirect object pronouns are identical. The direct object is directly acted upon by the verb. The indirect object is indirectly affected by the verb's action. In English, the example is, he gives money to my family. Money is the direct object being given, directly acted upon by the verb. My family is the indirect object. It is the recipient of the action of giving. If you replace money and my family with their respective direct and indirect object pronouns, then the sentence becomes, he gives it to us. It is the direct object pronoun. Us is the indirect object pronoun. Now the same example in Spanish. Él da dinero a mi familia. Normally, object pronouns are placed immediately before the verb in Spanish. So if we only use the direct object pronoun lo, we have Él lo da a mi familia. He gives it to my family. If we only use the indirect object pronoun nos, we have Él nos da dinero. He gives money to us. Now, if we use both in the same sentence, the direct and indirect object pronoun, then the indirect object pronoun will precede the direct object pronoun. Él nos lo da. He gives it to us. In 3 situations, the object pronoun will be attached at the end of a verb. First, if the verb is an affirmative command, but not for a negative command. Dame el libro. Dámelo. Dalo. Hazte tu tarea. Háztelo. Hazlo. If the verb is infinitive, voy a comprarte el regalo. Voy a comprártelo. Voy a comprarlo. And if the verb is in its gerund or present participle form. Estoy diciéndote la verdad. Estoy diciéndotela. Estoy diciéndola. You may have noticed that accent marks were added to da, as, comprar, and diciendo. Because when we have a stress syllable that is followed by at least 2 more syllables in the same word, an accent mark must be added to the vowel of that stress syllable for proper pronunciation. You should also note that the third person indirect object pronouns, le and les, must change to se if followed by a third person direct object pronoun. Explico la verdad a Jean. With only the direct object pronoun we have la explico a Jean. With only the indirect object pronoun we have le explico la verdad. If we use both the direct and indirect object pronoun, we do not write le la explico, we say se la explico. The reflexive pronouns are me, te, se, nos, os, se. Reflexive pronouns are identical to direct and indirect object pronouns, with the exception of se in the third person. And reflexive pronouns are used with reflexive verbs. Me lavo los manos. Nos duchamos cada día. La madera se ha quemado. When used in the same sentence, reflexive pronouns always precede indirect object pronouns, and indirect object pronouns always precede direct object pronouns. You can use the acronym RID to more easily remember this. However, Only 2 of these types of pronouns can be in any one sentence at a time, never all 3. So reflexive with direct object pronouns, we have me compré los zapatos, me los compré. Te compras la ropa, te la compras. And reflexive pronouns with indirect object pronouns, we have se me cayó el lápiz. Se te romperá el vaso si no tienes cuidado. Asegúrate que no se te pierda el libro. If you wish to refer to the direct object as it in these sentences, you will have to remove the direct object from the sentence entirely and not replace it with the direct object pronoun. Because as we said, all 3 RID pronouns cannot be in the same sentence at once. Se me cayó. Se te rompere. Asegúrate que no se te pierda. Unit 1, Lesson 2D on interrogative and relative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns ask questions, and in Spanish, all interrogative pronouns have accent marks. The singular interrogative pronouns are quién, qué, dónde, cuándo, por qué, cómo, cuál, cuánto. The plural ones are quiénes, cuáles, cuántos. Interrogative pronouns can also be used as relative pronouns, adverbs, or conjunctions when removing the accent mark. ¿Quién? ¿Qué? ¿Dónde? ¿Cuándo? ¿Por qué? ¿Cómo? ¿Cuál? ¿Cuánto? A few examples. ¿Quién es el hombre? Es el hombre quien trabaja aquí. So quién is used as a relative pronoun, not interrogatively, in the second example. Therefore, quién does not have an accent mark in the second sentence. ¿Cuándo vas a llegar? Llego cuando él llega. In the second sentence, cuando is used as an adverb, not interrogatively. Therefore, cuando does not have an accent mark in the second sentence. ¿Por qué lees? Leo porque lo quiero. So in the second sentence, por qué is used as a conjunction and not interrogatively. Therefore, it does not have an accent mark. Also notice that por qué is 2 words as an interrogative pronoun and 1 word as a conjunction. Unit 1, Lesson 2E on demonstrative pronouns. There are 3 sets of demonstrative pronouns. They all have their own forms depending on gender and number. The first set is este. Este, esta, estos, estas. The second set is ese. Ese, esa, esos, esas. The third set is aquel. Aquel, aquella, aquellos, aquellas. Este replaces a noun that is physically near the speaker. Ese replaces a noun that is further away from the speaker, but it may be close to the one being spoken to. Aquel replaces a noun that is far from both the speaker and the one being spoken to. Yo quiero el libro. Yo quiero este. Las herramientas son para ti. Esas son para ti. Los hombres son los expertos. Aquellos son los expertos. Demonstrative pronouns also have demonstrative adjective counterparts. Yo quiero este libro. Esas herramientas son para ti. Aquellos hombres son los expertos. Unit 1, Lesson 2F on possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns replace nouns and possessive adjectives. They are mío, mía, míos, mías, tuyo, tuya, tuyos, tuyas, suyo, suya, suyos, suyas, nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, nuestras, vuestro, vuestra, vuestros, vuestras, suyo, suya, suyos, suyas. Possessive pronouns variants must agree with the gender and number of the noun they replace. Also note that any of the third-person possessive pronouns can refer to his, hers, yours, or theirs. so you may need to further clarify this in a sentence when using any of these pronouns. Este cuaderno es el mío. Las camisas son las tuyas. El lápiz es el suyo. Las bufandas son las nuestras. El teléfono de John no funciona. El suyo no tiene batería. Also note that each possessive pronoun is preceded by an article when used in a sentence. And just like the possessive pronoun, the article preceding it must agree with the gender and number of the noun being replaced. And Unit 1, Lesson 2G on indefinite pronouns. Here is a list of some commonly used indefinite Spanish pronouns. These pronouns are singular and do not have separate masculine or feminine forms, but cualesquiera may be used as the plural for cualquiera. Cada persona tiene que trabajar. Algo no está bien. These indefinite pronouns do vary according to gender and number. Muchas mujeres están aquí. Mujeres is feminine plural, so muchas is also feminine plural. Unlike in English, we do use double negatives in Spanish, and they are not considered grammatically incorrect. For example, no confío en nadie. I do not trust anyone. Although no and nadie are both negative, this double negative is not considered grammatically incorrect in Spanish. Él no está haciendo nada. He is not doing anything. No and nada are both negative, but this double negative is still considered grammatically correct in Spanish. Finally, we have completed the first review lesson of Unit 1, reviewing nouns and all the different types of pronouns. As I always say, if you could please do me a favor and share this video series with your friends and teachers, I would very much appreciate that. And that is all for now, so until next time.